opportunity to take a look at this? Yes? Okay. We'll take a moment for everybody to take a look at it.
And Madam Chair, the second amendment that was also noted in the analysis that is not being accepted at this time in regard to moving the compliance provisions, that one is not being accepted. Is that accurate?
Hang on just a second. Let me make sure. Mr. Gould, in the analysis, just to make it real clear, I'll just state it
Thank
for
you.
you. If you look at comment 2 in the analysis, it addresses the amendments requested by
Can we
Banking
have
and Finance.
page number, please,
Oh, yes,
Madam
I'm
Chair?
sorry. It's comment 2, which I don't have a page number on my notes either, but I will find it for you.
Looks like page six.
Page 6. So that amendment as requested by Banking and Finance. And then at page 9, the amendment with regard to the savings clause.
And that's this, not that.
Oh, excuse me. The savings clause, which is embodied in the language you see here. So those are the only 2 amendments being requested.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Kevin Gould with California Bankers Association. Well, we were very pleased to have reached a compromise with the author and the proponents. We unfortunately haven't had sufficient time to digest and share with our members the revised language that was just handed out. It's very much our hope that we can preserve this delicate compromise. It's something that we've been working with for the past couple of years to try to reach a point where we can get to the policy goal, which we understand is to make sure that consumers have the information in front of them so that they can make an informed decision as they enter into the mortgage contract. We just want to say, however, that given the fact that we are still reviewing this language, we want to reserve the opportunity to modify our position if we later determine the language is harmful.
Absolutely. Thank you.
John Ross on behalf of the Mortgage Bankers Association. We too were neutral coming to this hearing and have worked to try and come up with language that at least addresses the issue that was of concern to the committee and the author's office. Our interest is in making sure we preserve the basic parameters of the deal that's been struck here.
Yes.
The deal, as we understand it, was existing section 1632 is over here. That has a rescission right in it. This new section that's extending the translation obligation to real estate lenders and financial organizations in this new section does not have a rescission right, and we, in this language, are just trying to make sure that that distinction is preserved. And as I read it, it is, but per Kevin's comment, if we hear from someone else that it isn't, we'll give you a call.
Great. Thank you. That sounds like that is the agreement to date.
Madam Chair, Member Scott Governor, on behalf of the California Financial Services Association, I concur with my colleagues.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. And may I just say thank you and compliment you on working together with the author to preserve the agreement and his word that he gave in a previous committee and figure out a way to move this bill forward. And, of course, we'll be available if anything changes, and just let us know. Thank you all very much. Witness in opposition?
Yes, Madam Chair. I'm Brian Augusta on behalf of the California who am I here on behalf of? The California Reinvestment Coalition. It's been a long day. And they all start with California. So California Reinvestment Coalition and its 30-some members who have signed a letter of oppose unless amended on this bill. We're in a very uncomfortable position. CRL is one of our most important allies, and Mr. Fong, of course, as well. And typically, we would support the policy that is captured in this bill, which is to expand the translation requirements to ensure that all consumers know what they're getting into. Our concern with this measure has been and continues to be that it not impair existing rights and remedies that consumers currently enjoy under 1632. And I think the representative from the Mortgage Bankers Association did capture it well. We want to preserve the rights of rescission which exist under current law under 1632. Our concern is that the intent language, which I didn't get a chance to look at the one that Senator Harmon passed out, but I assume it's something similar to what I've seen earlier.
It's the same one.
I've tried today very hard to get our folks to take a look at it and to give me some commitment that that satisfies their concerns, and so far we're not there. My feeling is that the simple language on page 9, which I know is meant just as a is meant sort of as a summary, but I think the simple language that's caption on page 9, which says that a provision which states that nothing in this bill is intended to affect or impair any right or remedy available to a borrower under Section 1632 would address our concerns. The concern we have with the language that's just been circulated today is that it doesn't make any reference to remedy, and it goes beyond that into some wades into some additional issues which we think are outside of the intent of the bill and outside that narrow concern of addressing whether 1632 remedies are affected by this bill. And so we're sort of in an awkward position because we don't have commitment from our folks that the language works. It clearly has some limitations, and we would remove our opposition if the amendment was simply what is at the top of page 9 in the analysis. But until we get some language that actually captures our concern about preserving remedies as opposed to rights or causes of action, we unfortunately will have to remain opposed to the bill. And the reason for that is that we think we're going to end up, as we take one step forward here, we're going to take 2 steps back by impairing the ability of consumers who got a loan, which they did not know the terms of because it was negotiated in one language and the documents are in another, from getting to the table with the lender and getting a fair a loan that meets what was described.
Well, thank you very much for expressing all that, and I hope there's some opportunity to reconcile all the concerns, and I encourage you all to continue talking, and thank you for being here on this matter. All right. Any other opposition?
Move the bill as amended.
All right. Motion by Senator Leno. Would you like to close?
Sure.
Assemblymember Fong?
Opponents have expressed concern that this bill rolls back consumer protections under current law. I believe that the language before us today has been carefully drafted to ensure that this is not the case. AB 1160 only applies to those loans negotiated with a lender. Any loan that's been negotiated by a broker will be subject to the rights and remedies under Civil Code Section 1632. AB 1160 is intended to help non-English speakers when purchasing a home. Providing borrowers with a written summary of the terms of their contract in a language they can understand is essential to transparency and honesty in the real estate market. I respectfully request your aye vote.
Thank you very much, Assemblymember Fong. It's great working with you.
Thank you.
We have a motion by Senator Leno. Please call the roll.
The motion is due pass as amended to Senate Appropriations Committee. Corbett?
Aye.
Corbett, aye. Harmon?
No.
Harmon, no. Flores? Flores, aye. Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye. Walters?
No.
Walters, no.
3 ayes, 2 noes. That bill is out.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. All right, members, we have some calls to lift. I think we have 14 measures on call, so we're going to go through those in numerical order, starting with item. Are the ones circled the ones we're going to do? Okay. Item number 1, AB 2 by, in fact, excuse me just a second. Can you put this on here so I can see? Item number 1, AB 2 by Senator, excuse me, I've been doing that all day, Assemblymember De La Torre. Please call the roll. If anybody wants to know, Chair is aye and Vice Chair is no.
The motion was due pass as amended to Senate Appropriations. Leno? Aye. Leno, aye.
That bill is out on a 3-2 vote. Item number 3, AB 108. That has 3 votes aye, 1 vote no, Chair voting aye, Vice Chair not voting yet.
The motion is due pass as amended to Senate Appropriations Committee. Harmon?
No.
Harmon, no.
That bill is out on a 3-2 vote. Item number 6, AB 335 by Assemblymember Fuentes. That bill currently has 2 ayes, 2 noes, Chair voting aye, Vice Chair voting no.
The motion was due pass to Senate Appropriations Committee. Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye.
The bill is out on a 3-2 vote. Item number 7, AB 343 by Assemblymember Saldana, and that bill currently has 4 aye votes. Please call the chair's name.
The motion is due pass to Senate Appropriations Committee. Corbett?
Aye.
Corbett, aye.
That bill is out on 5 ayes. Item number 10, AB 483 by Assemblywoman Buchanan. What is the vote on that? There's 2 ayes, 1 no, Chair voting aye, Vice Chair not voting yet.
The motion is due pass the Senate Appropriations Committee. Harmon?
Aye.
Harmon, aye. Flores? Flores, aye.
That bill is out with 4 ayes and 1 no. Item number 12, Assembly Bill 524 by Speaker Bass. That bill currently has a 2-2 vote. Chair aye, Vice Chair no.
The motion is due, passes amended to Senate Appropriations Committee. Leno?
Leno, aye.
Leno, aye.
That bill's out on a 3-2 vote. Item number 14, AB 568 by Assemblymember Liu. That bill has 3 votes in favor, both chair and vice chair voting aye.
The motion is due, passes amended to Senate Appropriations Committee. Flores? Flores, aye. Walters?
That bill passes with 4 ayes.
She has left, I believe, for the day.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Item number 15 is the next bill, AB 590 by Assemblymember Fuhr. The bill currently is 1 aye, 2 noes. Chair aye, vice chair no.
Motion is due, pass the Senate floor. Flores? Flores, aye. Leno?
Leno, aye.
Leno, aye.
That bill is out on a 3-2 vote. Item number 17, AB 620 by Assemblymember John Perez. That bill currently has 2 aye votes, no votes, ayes by both the chair and vice chair.
The motion is due, passes amended to Senate Appropriations Committee. Flores? Flores, aye. Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye. Walters?
Next item is item, pardon me. That bill is out on a 4 aye, no vote. Item number 19, AB 724 by Assemblymember DeVore. That bill has 1 aye and 2 noes. No by the vice chair, chair not voting yet. Please call roll.
The motion is due, pass the Senate Appropriations. Corbett?
No.
Corbett, no. Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye.
That bill fails 3 noes and 2 ayes. Reconsideration granted. Item number 24, AB 1070 by Assemblymember Hill is currently on call with 2-2 vote. The vice chair voting no, and chair not voting. Chair will be voting aye.
The motion is due, passes amended to Senate Appropriations Committee. Corbett?
I have to tell myself how I'm voting so I know how to vote. 3 ayes, 2 noes.
Corbett, aye.
Item 28 is the next item, AB 1312 by Assemblymember Swanson. And that bill currently has 3 aye votes, chair aye, vice chair not voting yet.
The motion is due, passes amended to the Senate floor. Harmon?
Aye.
Harmon, aye. Walters?
That bill has 4 ayes. It's out. The next one is item 29, AB 1325 by Assemblymember Cook. That bill currently has 4 ayes. Please call the vice chair.
The motion is due, pass to Senate Appropriations Committee. Harmon?
Aye.
Harmon, aye.
That bill has 5 ayes. It's out. Item number 30, that's AB 1336 by Assemblymember Ng. And that bill currently has 2 ayes and 1 no. The chair and the vice chair haven't voted yet.
The motion is due, passes amended to Senate floor. Corbett? Harmon?
Aye.
Harmon, aye.
That bill is out on a 3-1 vote. Very good. All right, members, that concludes all of our business for the day, and the meeting.
Madam Chair, on the item of Mr. Mendoza's, item number 9, you indicated that was going to be trailed to the end of the hearing. I have heard nothing further since then.
Well, and
What are we going to do with that bill?
I do not see Mr. Mendoza, and I believe when he left today, he indicated that he was leaving without having his bill heard. So we're going to adjourn the meeting.
And what will be the result of that we just didn't consider the bill?
That's right. There was no vote on the bill today.
All right.
Thank you very much. The meeting's adjourned.
Interesting.